Okay, here we go.
Awesome. We are there. Got it. All right. Hey, Amy, how are you?
Hi, Shane. How are you? So much. There's been so much that has happened over the last, I think, 5 or 6 weeks since we were last on here together.
There has been a lot. Lots of
Right?
moving parts and pieces, but all heading in the same direction. All heading in the same direction.
Okay. All right. So I would love for you to give an update because some things have changed in your personal world.
Yeah.
And also I was doing the math and you and I met for the first time almost 5 years ago.
Almost 5 years ago.
Just a few short months. It will be 5 years ago. It was like late summer of 2018.
Yeah. If I'm remembering right, it was around the mid to end of August in 2018.
Yes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
My gosh.
I had just left my corporate job of 20 years in April. And then it was all downhill, man. It was all downhill till August. And then we started to see the turn.
Well, and I just remember like the sound in your voice of like, this has to work.
It's got to work.
You know,
that's right.
I do not want to go back to corporate America. I know I have something to give. And I just knew you did too. And I was like, we're going to do this with it.
We're going to figure it out.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah,
I was like trying to, like, come on, Shane, you can do it.
You can do it.
We got this. So it was really, really such we just jumped right into the deep end. We didn't know each other, which is so crazy, now you're like, how far from me?
I am less than 45 miles from you, I do believe. 45.
Oh my gosh.
That's a far cry
from than my church.
That's it. Closer. Yep. A far cry from where we used to be with 2 hours or so.
Wow.
Between us. So yeah, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh. And I'm going to get to see you and Reese tomorrow in person. I can't wait.
So great.
I can't wait. Okay. So give us an update. Give us an update on these life changes. And then what is happening 5 years later? I mean, here is the question. Are you still using a SENS system?
Yes. That's the short answer. Yes, I am. I am still every month creating a brand new direct outreach spreadsheet where I track on a daily basis. How many invitations have I sent? How many messages have I sent? How many responses have I get? What's the conversion rate on that message? I'm still doing the same stuff. Still doing the same stuff. Yeah. Yep. So, it's interesting. I just moved to North Carolina. So I, moved north from down south and loving it here in North Carolina. And the thing about your system is it allowed me to make that move pain-free from the business standpoint. There was a lot of pain, not from the business standpoint.
Wow.
I was able to, just pick the business up, relocate it.
I even remember you saying, I am not going to get new clients in this month you were moving. You're like, Amy, I'm trying not to, but it was like, I don't like an amount that you weren't even intending to get.
Not even intending.
They just were coming.
Yep. There were 3 clients who renewed and 3 brand new clients in the month where I said, no mas.
Yeah.
Stop. Nope.
Yeah. But I'm going to say this. I mean, my system does have predictable, consistent results, and this technology isn't going anywhere. But the fact that you are good at what you do, you defined your mountain a long time ago. You've defended it. You haven't been back and forth on offers. No. You haven't changed what you do. You've refined the throughput so that people get what they want faster.
Yes.
But you have not stopped doing what you intended to do 5 years ago when you left your corporate job. You've just gotten better at it. And so the renewals are because you're so good and you stayed in the game. I mean, that's the winning formula, is like staying with something long enough to see these kind of results.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm forever grateful. I mean, it just sounds it just doesn't sound significant enough when I look back just to say, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm really grateful because when we met, I had made $1,000 with my coaching business.
Wow.
$1,000. It's like, and I was at a loss. And so, but I knew after we met, you had what I needed, and I stuck with it, and so since that time, I've been able to I've been able to see that business grow. But I started where everyone starts, at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I just started at the beginning where everyone else starts. The thing that, if anything, that separates me is I've just been down the road a little bit longer, just been doing, but I'm not doing anything different. I'm doing that more consistently than I was at the beginning. I'm doing it with more refinement than before. But I'm doing the same things, and it's allowed me to have that compounding effect, which has been really cool to see. It's some of the lessons learned. Like I was thinking just a few minutes ago, it's like, man, what have I learned over the last 5 years? Number one, listen to people who have been where you want to go and know the pathway. Listen to them, right? Like, so just because I was an owner didn't mean I knew what I was doing. Like, all I had to do was pay $75 and I got the title owner. That didn't mean anything. I didn't know what I was doing. And the proof was I couldn't duplicate anything. I could, I got a client, but I didn't know what friend of a friend of a friend kind of deal, but that wasn't sustainable. So listen to the people who are further down the road from me. There were times, Amy, where I tried to tweak the system. I mean, you remember these times, I call you, hey, I'm going to try this and I'm going to try that. And you let me go and explore that thing so that I could experience, the outcomes. When you change things, all bets are off.
Yeah.
I remember one time I saw my message rate decrease by like 23%, acceptance rate or a response rate, 23%. I was like, hey, what's going on? First question, you changed the message? Well, yeah. Listen to the people who have been down the road and they have gotten what you want, because if it's based on principle like the system is, it will get you where you want to go if you stay committed to it and follow it. That's the other thing, perseverance. There were many times where I wanted to not do direct outreach. Many, many times I didn't want to do it, but did anyway, just did it, so the perseverance is something that's required, not just with the system, but in the delivery of the work, right? Because you will, in the refinement, you will work with people who teach you who you don't want to work with. Yes. And you have to persevere through those learning lessons to be able to get to more of the people who you do want to work with. That's part of the process, perseverance. The other thing that I learned was don't quit your day job. Now, that sounds kind of ironic, since I was one I quit my day job. I'm telling you from experience, there's no honor in quitting the day job and not having a sustainable, duplicatable process that you can scale. You're putting yourself, your family, everybody who you want to help at jeopardy. Rolling the dice if you just quit it. Don't feel like anything wrong with that. It is honorable to be able to work and build a business alongside that work. If you have to have a W-2 income for a while, it's okay. So find somebody who's further ahead than you are. Be perseverant. You're going to find it's up and down. It's up and down. And don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job. I don't know. Tell me, is there anything else you're curious to know, Amy, or you think would be important for other people to know about this journey?
Well, I think one thing people need to hear from you, because they hear it from me, but I don't think it's as impactful as when they hear it from someone else, especially, someone that has been in it for 5 years side by side. We have become great power partners at this point, and truly have created that mastermind effect. There's something about that kind of experience with someone that is like-minded, going in the same direction as you, is better than you in some areas, can also learn from your contribution in other areas, is very powerful. But I think hearing from you, you chose to primarily lean on organic and one paid lead generator, which is what I recommend, but you did not go to social media ads like I did.
Right.
You went another direction. So I think answering the question of, does the labor hours in the organic come down? Does this get easier? Do you get more time freedom, Shane, and make more money? Because ultimately, I think if I'm not speaking out of turn, that's what I've heard you say.
Yes.
So just tell us about it.
Yeah, 100%. Initially, I was spending up to half of my day on organic outreach. Now, part of that was because I was learning.
Yeah.
Right. Like getting comfortable with the idea of putting myself out there, so to speak, and sending a message and asking people if they actually needed help. Like, so some of that, then, I was able to start to see that drop a little bit as I got comfortable. But where it really began to take off for me was when I had enough experience going through and refining my process of how I would go and find people. That where it really paid off is when I dialed into who I really worked well with and how they spoke about the problems they were facing, who was they follow, all of the things that you talk about in the system, over time, my effort went from 4 hours a day to where now I've got an hour a day that I'm spending on direct outreach, and my results have gone through the roof. When I say my results have gone through the roof, I replaced my 6-figure income within the first year.
Wow.
Since then, I have doubled my business in the last year.
Wow.
Doubled. But now here's the crazy thing. My revenue is doubling and my time is cut in more than in half on what I'm doing with direct outreach.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so the third party lead generated I use the Bark system that you recommended in the course, and so in there, again, my effort was very high. I would spend an hour, or two of my day looking through all of the leads that were there, just trying to learn. Now I can scan my phone quickly on the app and I know what words to look for to be able to tell me if this is a viable prospect for me to pursue or not. Right. And I can take action quick. And then I've had the practice to be able to have that conversation that you recommend ready at any point in time, regardless of what else is going on around me. I can stop and spend 10 to 15 minutes with someone and be able to move to the next step in the process. But so my time freedom, I'm telling you, I don't work past 3 o'clock, girl. I ain't working past 3 o'clock.
So good.
It's not happening.
Yeah, I love that. And you still do meet with your clients one-to-one.
Totally.
This is something you enjoy.
Yep. That's it.
And I'll never forget when you were like, you want me to charge how much?
I'm telling you. And
and now you're like, I won't work for less than
that's right.
That amount.
That's right.
Yeah.
My prices have doubled since you helped me increase them. But again, the credibility in the results, the testimonies, if you're, again, maybe back to the best practices kind of idea, lessons learned, man, if you are delivering exceptionally well, people want to share their story of work with you. You just have to ask them, would you be willing to share your story with me, and have them post reviews on your Facebook page or on your Bark reviews, whatever it is. That credibility comes with time, but it is also a contributing factor, I believe, in lessening the effort, because there's a higher level of trust when people enter into the conversation with me than as before.
Yeah. Well, and what I hear you saying is, look, I stayed in it long enough to learn what I needed to learn to decrease my labor hours and increase my revenue.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing you say. And this is why, right now I've had several questions about how many, like, when do you know when to change your messaging? And I'm like, when you've had 30 phone calls. To get to 30 phone calls, you have to touch 800 people. Most people will not touch 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so this is you will actually do less over time and you will make more. And the time is your decision. I mean, when I met Shane, this is what you said to me. You said, well, I don't have any clients, so I'm going to take the 40 hours a week I have allocated to work, and I'm going to put that into building the business and going through your system. So the way my 6 phases are designed really to be in and out in 30 days, all 6. Every digital asset is built for you. All you have to do is customize it. And the beginning 3 phases are all testing. Once you have a proof of concept, you can quickly go any direction you want to go. So you can get to 30 phone calls in less than 15 days. If you are in fact consistent and you are working like you would for someone else.
That's
because if you don't work in the beginning like you would for someone else, you will eventually have to go back to working for someone else.
Right on.
That's what's going to happen.
Right on.
And so that's the reason why, Shane, your advice about stay at your 9-to-5 job until you're ready to commit those same hours to your own business, because that's what it's going to take in the beginning. You cannot make six figures 3 hours a day.
No.
It doesn't work. Now you can get there, but you can't start there. And so, but you also don't have to work 11 hours a day either. Right. You can work a solid 8 hours a day, doing the work, meeting with people, having clients, refining, testing, measuring things, and walk away and do it again tomorrow. And you can do that 5 or 6 hours a week, or 5 or 6 days a week. And then I'm telling you, in 90 days, it's like you come out of this hole wondering, wow, I can't believe all of this is happening in 90 days.
That's right.
Putting in the same effort you would have for someone else, actually less hours, because there's no driving.
Nope. That's right.
You can work when you want to.
No interruptions.
Nope. No interruptions. Now, in my world, there's interruptions. Yep. So I got up very early when there couldn't be interruptions. So by the time the children got up, I was done with my allocated hours for the day. And when they took a nap, I did the remainder of what was needed. And so, I had the rest of the day to deal with infants. And so this is very important that we understand exactly what you're talking about. Perseverance, knowing when to leave your job, knowing how to measure what you're doing, and staying in the game long enough to get a result that you can actually duplicate.
Yeah. I often think back, what would have happened? What would have happened if I had pivoted away from Ascend, after a year? And then I think, well, I wonder what would happen if I had pivoted away after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I can tell you this, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm at today, having the luxury of time, having the revenue that I want, being totally at peace with what I bring and offer and can do and can't do. I wouldn't have any of those things. Right. Yeah. But I had to stay in it for a year. And then I had to stay for 2 years. And then, but here's that is not a long time. I mean, 5 years. I mean, when I think about it, I'm like, golly, that seems like forever ago, but it goes by like that. I cannot believe 5 years. Are you kidding me? That's craziness.
I can't either. I mean, Abigail had just had a major heart surgery. She was
unbelievable,
attached to machines when we first met. And in my world, I have achieved this luxury of about 45 minutes to an hour a day of work. And my days right now are very full of little people activities. We homeschool. And so I'm really enjoying where Presley is. She's 8 and she's really in a very independent learning phase of life. And then Abigail is, just accelerating development, which is taking the majority of the hours I could use. Now, look, I could be bringing in 10 to 12 clients a month, but my family is where I want my time right now. And I'm still able to contribute that 6-figure income and not worry about how am I going to pay for all of the care for Abigail, that not one stitch of it is covered by insurance. Not one.
Amazing.
And so, we are blessed to be able to enjoy this pace of life, have this second 6-figure income, and I can actually be a part of my children's lives, which is what I was after. I wanted a executive income, and I wanted to be a full-time mom, and I wanted a little bit of passive income. And that's really what I'm experiencing right now, because I've been able to outsource or automate everything that is duplicatable. So now the time I spend is so satisfying to me, and the clients feel valued because I'm available. I can actually talk to people because I'm not hustling and grinding out to make, $500,000 a month. That isn't what I need. That isn't what I need. Now there's going to come a day that I can accelerate my income just like I did in the beginning. But right now it's just not what I need. I need to be with my children, and my children need their mother. And so I'm enjoying
there's so many people who are business owners that truly are just employees. I mean, the business has consumed every bit of who they are. Every bit of their waking time is spent, tied to that thing.
Wow.
And the freedom that this framework you've created gives to people like me is just mind blowing, right? Like I compare myself, I'm like, I would not want to be doing what that person's doing. Holy cow, they're an owner, but they're really an employee. But you can build your business around your life, not build your life around your business.
Yeah.
That's the freedom that this gives. You can build your life, and then, hey, I'm going to make the business work around it.
Right.
That's what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Two things come to my mind before we close. And I heard these from two very wise people recently that are very brilliant at what they do, have global companies. And one of them said, we are not called to be successful. We're called to be faithful. So we are not called we were not created to be successful. We were created to be faithful. So that's what you are demonstrating is faithfulness to your work that produces a faithful income and a faithful loyalty to you. So people keep coming back, right? And so it's not about being, and the reality is this faithfulness creates a legacy of wealth for your son and grandchildren and all those people that are going to come after you. People think that wealth comes from, trust funds or selling a multi-million-dollar company. And it can happen like that. But most millionaires are made in the day-to-day faithful activity when nobody's looking, when you're not getting what you want. And that's what we have here. We are inching towards, Ascend has crossed the 7-figure mark, but that has been a slow and steady inching towards. Okay. And it has not been, I'm not trying to be a millionaire in a year.
Right.
It was a slow and steady. I want the profit. I want the taxes paid. I don't want to have to owe the IRS and not have enough runway to do that and to take care of what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so it's the slow and steady. And the second thing is that we should not be defined by our title and role as owner. We should really be defined by our family. So you are Reese's husband, you are Levi's father, who in fact has been faithful to his job. And as a result of that, God has been faithful to provide because work is his idea. It is not about you being an owner and having this entrepreneurial global position in life. It's about the faithfulness that you're demonstrating. And I really hope that the clients watching this are going to say, okay, I hear you. This is about faithfulness. This isn't about getting somewhere fast. This is about learning how to work and sustain and be faithful. That's what this is about.
Good word.
And that's when systems of technology optimize the best, is when the user is faithful to command it and direct it, not be flippant and start, stop.
Yeah. Good word.
So, again, we say this, systems run your business, but you and I run the systems. And you are a rich case study in faithfulness and staying in the game. And I'm grateful that I have proximity to you, that our work brought us together, and I get to celebrate in these amazing wins. Thank you for letting me stay on this journey with you.
Thank you, my friend. It's a pleasure. Let's keep going. Let's keep
going. All right. I'll see you soon.